Another loss for the Tigers. It's not as bad as that loss last night to the Cincinnati Reds. I love you guys, and welcome to an all-new edition of All Andy Alfred, right here on ClayFan 23. I'm your host, Andrew Alfred. Here we go again. We lose to Kansas City. We lose 4-3. Roberto Colon gets the win. He improves his record to 1-0 with a 3.60 ERA. Frando Rodney gets his second loss. He's 0-2, 4.25, and Satora gets the save, his 13th of the season. I blame Rodney for the loss. I do blame him for the loss. You don't want to know why? Because you put it right down the plate, and Bloomquist takes it off the field. Unbelievable. Thames, his 7th home run of the season. Rayburn had his 6th. Jacobs, his 11th for the Kansas City Royals. And Bloomquist, his 2nd. Tonight, the Tigers can rebound from the loss last night. They're playing Kansas City again, and Mr. Chen's taking on Mr. Verlander. Verlander 8-4 with a 3.54 ERA, taking on Chen, who is 0-2 with a 4.38 ERA. Can we win this game tonight? Maybe. You're just gonna have to watch and find out. Also tonight, the Cleveland Indians start a 6-game road trip with the Chicago White Sox. That's an 8-11 start on ST. Jeremy Sowers on the hill. He's 2-6 with a 5.68 ERA. And Mark Burley gets the start for the Chicago White Sox. He's 8-2 with a 3.09 ERA. But the game that got me interested was Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Cincinnati loses the game. Now, they didn't lose little. They lost huge. They lost 22-1. Cueto only lasted through the first inning. He gives up 10 runs. I use my hands on this one. 10 runs. In one inning, in the first inning alone. 6 in the 8th. And little runs in between. He scored 16 runs. Wow. Cueto gets the loss. He goes to 8-5 with a 3.45 ERA. Cole Hamels gets his 5th win of the season. He goes 5-5 with a 4.70 ERA. Homers. Gomes for the Reds. That was the only run that produced for the Reds. Utley, Wealth, Victorino, Dobbs, all homer for the Phillies. Tonight, the Cincinnati Reds play the Philadelphia Phillies. Aaron Harang goes on the hill. He's 5-8 with a 3.86 ERA. He'll take on Mr. Harp, who's 5-0 with a 2.96 ERA. Other scores of the major leagues: Atlanta on top of the Atlanta, a loser actually to the Chicago Cubs, 4-2 yesterday. Toronto a winner over the Yankees, 7-6. That was a good ball game. If you wanted to watch a good ball game yesterday, that was a good one. Oakland beats Boston 6-0. The return, Noma Garciapa. He goes 2 for 4, and he's back in Boston for these next 2 games. Pittsburgh a loser over Houston 4-0, and Washington a loser to Colorado 1-0. Mud Hens had the night off last night, and so they start a 3-game homestand with the Louisville Riverbats. Bump gets his first major league start from being called up to Erie since Lucas French was called up from the Tigers. Bump gets his first start in his career. He'll take on Ramirez. He is 3-5 with a 4.50 ERA. we get to free agency in NHL. The Columbus Blue Jackets have signed forward Pascal Pentier from Rockford, but really from the Chicago Blackhawks. He had a good season last year. He had a total of 13 goals, 24 assists, and he had 64 points, which is a pretty good stat for him, and be a good addition to that fourth line. I want to say right now, I'll say this right now. I'd like to thank. I have a comment right here. It's from Andy Vera, and he writes in. He says Andy Maglo is not producing. What is your take on this? Well, I think the Tigers will be a buyer when we come up to the All-Star break. They'll be a buyer. And I hope they go out and get that big bat because they have Marcus Tennant playing cleanup. They have Ordonez batting 7th, which is what Inch played last season. So I hope the Tigers go after a big bat. It'd be nice a Holiday or somebody else, somebody with a big bat can come up and hit it. But remember, I am Andrew Alfred. Today is Michael Jackson's memorial, and we will miss you, Michael. But I am Andrew Alfred, and I hope you can survive this day, because I know I did. And remember, most importantly, from all of us here at All Andy Alfred, I'd like to say, victory is sweet when you taste defeat, Skipper? And also, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. Have a good night, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Have a good night.